Joining us now is Amanda Tyler, a former law clerk for Justice Ginsburg. Amanda, thank you so much for your time today. I know this must be difficult news. Your thoughts when you heard?
Just absolute devastation. Those of us who were honored and privileged and lucky enough to work with her and work for her just know what an incredible national treasure she was, and to lose her now is just devastating. It's devastating for all the obvious reasons, but it's also devastating because I fear in the political context in which she has passed, we will not spend nearly enough time talking about her incredible legacy and all that she did to make this country, so much better.
Amanda, she was such a public figure, and we feel like we got to know her. We got to know what she was like from all her public appearances. You had a behind-the-scenes look, particularly in the context of a law of the court. What was she like when going behind closed doors at the Supreme Court?
She is just amazing. I mean, going to work for her, I've said, it was just one of the greatest privileges of my life. I got to work for my idol, and how many people get to say that? She was brilliant. She was inspiring in every way. She was fiercely dedicated to her job and to being a public servant and to fighting to uphold our constitutional values. I mean, this is what defined her. And she was kind. She had an incredible, caring heart, and she looked out for her clerks and cared about us. And it was just such a privilege to know her and to have her be a part of my life. I don't even know how to express how sad I am.
I know, it's so shocking. Amanda, tell us about the first time you met your idol, Justice Ginsburg, the first time you met with her face-to-face. What was that moment like?
Well, it was my job interview to be her law clerk, and I'm glad you asked that question. You've made me smile. I'm remembering how nervous I was. This was one job I really wanted to get, and so I had prepared meticulously and was so nervous, but she immediately put me at ease, and that's who she was. There was no arrogance. There was no superiority that she exuded. She was kind and generous and inviting, and she remained that way as a boss when I had the privilege of clerking for her, and it just made it all a joy.
Amanda, obviously you have a very personal connection to her, but there was also the professional one where you learned from her in a position as a law clerk.
Yeah.
When you moved on, what particular skills did you take away in your career as a lawyer that you say, oh yeah, I got that from her?
Where to begin? She was a brilliant lawyer. She litigated so many important cases to the Supreme Court that changed the way our Constitution applies to gender discrimination and led the Supreme Court effectively to outlaw most forms of gender discrimination. But she also, as a judge, was always looking to try and make sure that our Constitution was a Constitution that protected everybody, all Americans. And that was a defining feature of both her work as an advocate and her work as a judge and as a justice on the Supreme Court. And that is something that she has inspired all of us who work for her to make a central tenet of our own professional lives. And certainly that has been, I've tried to make that the central principle that animates all that I do as a teacher, as a scholar, and as a lawyer.
Very difficult to sum up, but if you had to say 3 words that summed up Justice Ginsburg, what 3 words would you use, Amanda?
Brilliant, inspiring, and resilient.
Wonderfully put.
Amanda Taylor, thank you, former law clerk for Justice Ginsburg. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and sharing some personal thoughts about the justice.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Amanda.
for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.